Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm your co-host, Ben Brackett, alongside Blake Sievers, my good buddy, and also our good friend, the Titan tactician, Matt Saheg. What's up, Shaggy boy?
Hey, Ben. Hey, Blake.
So you got to speak into the microphone, Matt. It's been a while since you've been on the pod.
Yeah, we got him back, though.
Hey, Ben. Hey, Blake.
Don't touch it, though. Don't touch it, though. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight or today. We've just been hanging out at Substate. Action-packed Wednesday night leading into the big tournament in Des Moines County next week. We covered 3A this evening. What do you know, Siebes? A lot of action.
Yeah, I mean, the weather summed up the spring high school season tonight, right? Terrible, rainy.
Well, the season wasn't terrible, but it was.
But
the weather has been terrible all year.
It hasn't been great, which is fine. It's gonna be gorgeous next week for state tournament. We got some cool things in the works, so stay tuned for that. But no, it's what a good little night of soccer, because if you're a player, we talk about it many times. Like, great night for weather, soccer.
You can run for days, and then, I mean,
you can slide on that
turf
without getting burned.
I was gonna say, how many slide tackles did you see tonight?
A lot.
They were in action. So we took in the East High Scarlets at the Urbandale Jayhawks. I could not tell you right this minute what sub-state number it was, but I would tell you that Valley was in that sub-state. That's my team, and they got beat the other night by East. So East is coming in kind of as an underdog to take on Urbandale. So it was one of those like 2 and 4 seeds, 2 and 3 seeds, and Valley being the number 1 seed was out. I was sad, but also excited to see these two teams that I hadn't really got a chance to see this year. And Urbandale going back to the glory days, first time, and I mean, we'll have to fact
2002.
check. I was gonna say we'll have to fact check Armin, who is an assistant coach for the Jayhawks, but I think that when he was there, it may have been one of the last times they were there. But it was in the mid 2000s they were there, so really exciting for them to get back there. I guess we're kind of bearing the lead, but good game we saw tonight, right? Say
it was a good game. It was back and forth first half. I gotta get a little closer to the mic. Looked like, to me, Urbandale dominated most of the first half of the game, and then you had a little, probably against the run of play. Nice little ball gets played through by Freddie Munoz to Jose
Valderas,
who I thought was easily the best player on the field tonight.
He was very good.
And
we might not get his name right, but
and he scored.
Number 11.
Yeah. But the lineman called back for offsides. I think from we were at, it didn't look like it was offsides. Obviously, we were up in the press box with foggy windows and not in the line. But I guarantee you, East will take a close look at that on replay to determine whether or not it was offsides. Because if it's not offsides and it was close, definitely. Then East would have been up 1-0. Totally would have changed the game. So,
and like you said, real quick, Matt, Urbandale was on the front foot for the first 15, 18 minutes before East scored that goal. They were good.
Yeah,
so that definitely impacts that game, I think.
Question, yeah. And then probably, a few minutes later, East gives away a foul. So there's a free kick taken just over the halfway line, and the Urbandale player plays it into the box, and East miskicks the clearance, kind of takes a long swing at the ball, as I recall it, and he'll be kicking himself as well, because when it's wet and it's slippery like that, all you've got to do is really make contact with the ball and just punch it to safety instead of taking a big swing. It's a risk to take a big swing on the edge of the box in a rain game like that, and East paid the price for that mistake. The ball bounced, and then actually the Urbandale player that scored had a really nice, calm finish. It was an excellent finish.
Urbandale went up Marks, right? Scored the goal. Hayden Marks for Urbandale.
Yeah, great finish.
Senior, so big day for him, I would guess.
Yeah, and Urbandale really never looked back.
It didn't really seem like it, right? And so I showed up a little late in that little weird, yeah, super weird. Blake will let you know that, but East when I showed up in that period where like East was kind of on top of the game, and so I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then Urbandale scores, and then it, like as you said, it literally did not change from there. It was no matter what East did, like the counter was a goal or a chance or whatever. Urbandale was on top of it after that.
Scored a couple more goals. I missed the third goal by Rocky Carver, but Blake, you said it was pretty fantastic.
Yes, I mean, so let's not jump ahead too
A
far,
little bit,
but like, yeah. So I mean, they go in 1-0 at half, right? And we talked to the coaches at halftime, which was a struggle. So Bill Watson, I know you're not listening, but let's
Thank you for letting us.
yeah, thank you. Absolutely.
Boys.
So
Appreciate it.
I mean, Urbandale just wanted to continue putting the pressure on, right? I mean, Darby is as a coach, we've noticed it. Press, like energetic,
Charismatic.
yeah,
how I would
I mean,
describe it.
yeah, absolutely, like all over the place, which is great. So like clearly those boys have taken to it.
Yeah,
And
I just was gonna say I noticed at half as we were sitting there waiting for our interview, he literally congratulated or encouraged every single player on their way in from halftime. I'm like, I have played for coaches like that before, and even if you're just a schmo that like didn't do anything in that first half and like you made one tackle and the coach goes like, nice tackle, good job, way to do it, like let's go, you feel it. And so like I think that's some big move from the coach there, just being like his players clearly love him and play for him.
and I think that's a great point because I thought the same thing, man. It was like, whoa, that's a little bit different. Like, but he was
I haven't seen a
appreciative
coach
and
recently do that where they're just like literally, I mean, it was
positive,
like a high
everything
five,
positive,
like
wasn't
a pound, a hug, like hey, you're doing something awesome. Like it was all positive, super cool.
every single player that walked in the locker room.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
And,
Matt.
well, if you just look at how the game was played tonight too, it was Urbandale was just a half step or a step sort of quicker. I thought they were just harder in the tackles. They were a little bit more cohesive in terms of how they moved as a group, and I think that's them feeding off of that sort of intensity and energy that clearly Darby brings out of his teams.
He
East
seems like
was
he
just-
brings it.
yeah.
Like he brings it. He's
East
the
is
one
what-
that brings it.
Right.
It's not
East is more laid
fabricated.
back. I mean, I think East as a team has far as superior technical players, right?
That was the thing to me is I watch it and I was like the East, like I was sort of rooting, like no offense, Urbandale, I was rooting for East. Also, like Urbandale's like knocked Valley out a couple times, and you know what have you. So like of course I'm like a little bit rooting for the Scarlets, and the Scarlets were like they had some really nice stuff. Like they were playing good soccer. It's not like they were bad and lost 3-0. They were good.
Yeah, they were good. I thought the difference was, for me, I would have liked to see Freddie Munoz and Jose, and I'm going to mispronounce
Freddie
his name.
Muniz, yes.
Muniz and Jose.
Valderas. Okay.
So 9 and 11, they're two best players, arguably. I think 49 is Manny, maybe.
Yeah.
He's another good one. But I thought if they would have I actually thought if they would have played in midfield, the game would have totally changed. I think if that would have liked to see one changes, at least one of those guys come into midfield, get the ball, because when Freddie gets it and was able to turn, he's so good and so lethal, but he touched the ball probably 25 times, whereas I would have liked to see him touch the ball
Like
80
twice.
to 100.
Well, he kind of posts up a bit, right?
Yeah.
He's really good at posting up, laying off, and spinning, but you want to see him running at players going forward
Well,
as opposed to
so
backwards.
Matt, you didn't get to listen to our halftime interviews, but Blake conducted that interview. Blake, what was the East High directive that happened?
Yeah, so I mean, we definitely got to bring it up. So Eric, midfielder for East, got hurt. I forget his name, last name.
Rodriguez, I think.
Yeah,
Rodriguez,
yep.
yeah.
So he got hurt and didn't even dress. So when they beat Valley, which monumental, historic win for East, I think we definitely
Also,
got to
monumental historic loss for Valley.
not to make the Substate Final.
Correct. I'm just saying.
But yeah, maybe like for East,
As
like
the
that's a
Tiger.
massive win. Unfortunately, he gets hurt. He's like the maestro in midfield for them. And we talked to Lounsbury at halftime. He's like, hey, we've lost our playmaker in midfield. So we're going to try to just bypass midfield and go direct straight through Freddie and Valderas. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, it was
9/11.
yeah.
But
9/11.
it didn't
was
seem like that
interesting.
worked. I guess that was my
Unfortunately,
point.
it
It's just
didn't.
Like, it didn't
For them.
tonight.
And like Urbandale, I mean, we have to talk about it because we talked to our big man, the Nordic friend Lance Roseboom, watching the game. He's like, because we called it out right away. Urbandale plays. Sorry, Darby.
Super
but
high
this
line.
is the. We'll see who listens to the podcast because we want to talk about scouting for the state tournament.
Yeah.
They played super high, but again, like to me, you got Ben Kroll and old Big Denny there at center backs. Like they negated a lot of stuff, but it was like, whoa, they play. I mean,
there's some chances to be had for the right team. There's some teams that are going to get some chances there, and I think it was interesting too because like overall, you've got a team out of Urbandale that is it's like motivated by Darby, but then you like we can't bypass our boy Armin Mujdik. Like, I mean, this is like one of the most high performing high school players in Iowa soccer history. Like he was leading goal scorer at Ankeny and then he transferred to Urbandale. And it's really interesting to me, like here he is at Urbandale, just like absolutely like leading the squad, and they look good attacking, right? They score their goals, right? And
yeah, but it's that third goal.
It's a great
I don't know
goal.
if you guys want to jump in there or
No, I missed it. So
Hayden
you were
Marks
raving
scored
about
2
it.
goals. He doesn't like get past his guy on the wing, but he does a little bit of crafty footwork and almost like goes backwards, like cuts it and plays the ball in. And Rockney Carver,
Across the face of the goal,
outside of his foot,
it.
like receives it and like volleys it. Like it was a great goal. So you've got, and he's like playing. I mean, he's kind of like a holding midfielder at the beginning of the game. Then he pushes forward a little bit.
So we got an interview that we need to post for Armin that I need to do that. But Armin makes the comment that they are playing with basically no striker. So they're a defensive team overall. Like they've got all these players that play in the midfield and the back, but no strikers. And so they're just like basically fashioning strikers out of midfielders and defenders. And like, I mean, Blake, you and I, we lived this life. Like this was our high school career was like, oh yeah, I'm a midfielder, but I'll score some goals for you, right? Like how many, you must score a ton of high school goals, right, Blake?
I did.
For a defender, double digit goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm having a hard time seeing that.
He absolutely did. I mean, I won't tell you how many I scored because you guys make fun of me for keeping track. But what about you, Say? You must have been a defender that scored some goals in high school.
Yeah, I did. I mean, if you're a top
Boylan
high school player, you better
tactician?
be scoring some goals. I mean, come on.
Okay, well, so it's good that this squad, who is a defensive heavy, is like they're finding ways to use their good players to score some goals. And you know what? The thing about it is like that gives you.
2 minutes.
Let me know if you know something. I will cross the pitch and then
All right. Well,
Okay.
yeah. So we got to thank our friends here at El Rodeo.
Yes, that's a good
Keeping
shout.
the kitchen open for us for a couple more minutes because we got. I mean, I always have to be critical about something. So Darby, Bill Watson sort out the programs and the press box. We tried to record this podcast and we got booted. But anyways,
True.
so it ends up though, like, so Urbandale goes up 3-0. Rockney Carver gets hurt. That gets a boot to the knee.
It sounds like from his father. His father was giving us the thumbs up, which rare from the father figure. To be everything's fine. Most father figures would be like, oh, he's dead.
We have to talk about it. So yeah, so he gets hurt, comes off. All of a sudden, he scores a goal with what?
Yeah, to be like, oh, he's so hurt.
5 minutes to go, and then they get one. It's kind of weird, like not really something to talk about, but they get one with 4 seconds to go, and Urbandale runs on the field, but the referee calls back 3 more seconds, and then like hilariously almost Urbandale passes it all the way to their goalkeeper. So if Nate Hersom doesn't what if the ball what if he pulls a Zach Brennan, the ball goes over his foot, it would have gone in the goal. And like it's 3-3. Like if I was Urbandale, I was like, why are you guys just kicking it as far out of bounds as you can?
Yeah.
But anyways, scoreline looks a little bit maybe closer than the game, I think.
Yeah, I would say so 3-2 win for Urbandale. I would almost call it like a 3-0 victory for Urbandale. It's pretty comfortable, even though those late 2 goals come in. I never really felt under threat. I would agree. Yeah, I think we all can agree on that. And I think we all agree on the standout players. I would just also give a little quick shout out to the Urbandale, the East High goalkeeper whose name I don't even know, but I thought he did a decent job. He made some good saves and he did his business despite getting scored on. Like he was really doing his work there. What'd you think about the refereeing, Matt? I thought the refereeing was pretty good overall.
Yeah, the referee did a nice job. The one thing I thought that was a big decision for him is when he gave the yellow card to Jose, number 11. Again, I will mispronounce his name.
We'll just call him number 11 Jose.
Number 11 Jose, because he's the best player. And at that point in time, it's 1-0. He kind of runs into the goalkeeper. I thought the referee could have just allowed
just a foul maybe, or no foul.
Not even a foul, because then the goalkeeper
one or
picks
the
it
other,
up
right?
and punts it.
nobody was asking for cards.
No.
It wasn't a big deal. It was just a
collision. It was a collision. And but the thing that's interesting though then is that because of the rules, yellow card,
Yeah.
he's now penalized 5 minutes, goes off the field.
He's off for at least 10 minutes, I think. And in the meantime, does the goal get scored while he's off?
Yeah, there
I
was
think he
definitely the
does.
second goal got scored during that time. We talked about it, right? We're like, man, that's maybe more of a game changer than you actually think about.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, controlling your emotions is important, but I also
But it
think
was
that like
just a
getting a
collision.
yellow, no, and I just think getting a yellow card is part of the game. So like that's the controlling the emotions part. It's like, okay, you get a yellow card. You don't need to get penalized. You got a yellow card. That was your
That
penalty.
is the penalty. That's the warning. You don't have
Correct.
to sit out.
Correct.
So here's the deal.
So my
That's
point
a-
is that then in real soccer, then you have to now toe the line. Instead, they're saying like, why don't you take a break? Go take a breather.
Well, they don't do that in basketball.
No,
You get technical, same thing as a yellow card, right? You get 2 Ts, you're out.
no, but
See,
now you have
that's
to actually sit
ridiculous
out
then.
for 5 minutes and just like go sit there and like get cold and like detach from the game when like the reality is you're like engaged and ready to go.
It's another thing that association
Yeah.
needs to sort out.
Yeah, I have a problem with that, but that's fine. Like it's also it's part of the game. So like those players got to deal with it. You got to step off, like fine. But that was a game changer. That was a turning point in the game, without a doubt. And so that happens. They go down 1-0, and then I mean,
They were already
hate-
down 1-0.
sorry 2-0. But I hate to say it, but like that was the game. That goal done. And the third game, and then the other
There was.
the
Everybody
backup.
else putting the game away. And so do you
Yeah.
want to talk about any games, anything else to talk about this game, or should we get into like
No,
results,
let's
live
talk
results?
about the other results because we've got some action, don't we? The live feed from Substate 3A, Substate number 1 would be Ankeny wins 3-0 over Sioux City East. I think that we saw the Hawks making state tournament, but glad to know they're going to be there. We got some more Central Iowa action after Waukee Northwest beat Dowling Catholic, which was always going to be Central Iowa action. It was 3-1 for Northwest.
Talk about that game real quick, Ben. Like, talk about a barn burner. Dowling
Yeah.
scores one and then unfortunately gives up.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like Dowling was basically in control there for a little bit, and then they lose control for just a second, and Northwest goes from 1-0 down to 2-1 up, and then 3-1 comes along shortly thereafter.
Can we talk really quickly about the Northwest ineligible player?
Well, we've heard this. This is rumors. What do you
Yes.
know?
It's so Northwest may have fielded. There's something going on, so we got to get to the bottom of it. But
We
they
do.
may have fielded ineligible players. So they may have had to forfeit some games, which we'll figure out. Like, does that affect their seeding at state? Because obviously they qualified. And obviously they're good, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they're very good, and they've clearly qualified, like without a doubt by winning all their games. So then we go over to the other sub-state, which would be the Johnson Iowa City High, which is still actually it's being played, is it not? But Johnson is up 1-0, and the big conversation is that Wilmot Mane has been sent off early in the first half, which we've seen the video.
check our stories out.
Yeah.
Vote. Is it a red card or not?
Absolutely. And then the last game that is that not, we got it. I feel like the Central Iowa action is good. So you got,
Can we just talk real quick? Well, let's jump to Eastern
Okay,
Iowa.
let's do it.
Bettendorf, like the Battle of Bettendorf. That's
It
a
was.
massive. Yeah, it was. You're right. So
Pleasant Valley against Bettendorf.
defending state
uh,
champs against traditional power.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah. And Pleasant Valley doing their deal, winning 1-0. I mean, these guys are the 1-0 kings. Like they just literally win 1-0. They did it all year last year. I can't wait to look at all the results from this year, but they've done it again. Sub-state, they've knocked out, so they won their previous game 4-0, but it's sub-state. So, but when the game matters, they knock out they knock out Bettendorf 1-0. Congrats to the boys there.
Wayne Ward.
Wayne
He
Ward.
loves talking to us. Doesn't really, but he does.
Oh, I can't wait to get a chat with him. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
out of my way for that one. So then Ankeny Centennial also played against Hoover. That was one of our other Central Iowa matchups that we're very curious about. Hoover and East both sort of like making this claim as metro schools trying to knock off the suburban schools. And Hoover had done it just the other night against Waukee, regular Waukee, not Northwest.
Yeah, I
but
think,
did it
yeah.
against- did it against
To be fair
regular
to them, they
Waukee
did it.
and turned around. Big game against Centennial, couldn't do it. Centennial with the big 2-1 win. So basically, we got Centennial, we got the Ankeny Hawks, we got the Urbandale Jayhawks, we got maybe Johnson. We're still waiting on that result. I'm gonna go ahead and fingers crossed for Central Iowa that they make it. You got Pleasant Valley in the mix.
Then out east, you got the Iowa City West Cedar Falls. You assume Styles has it, but again, not we don't have an update from Eastern Iowa, so
No, we'll have to throw
find
these.
out.
We'll have to throw these updates kind of in our bio or whatever, so that people like have all the results, but they can get the talk. You guys should just definitely follow us next week. We're gonna be rocking and rolling down the state tournament. If you're gonna be in Des Moines, please come say hello. We've got an awesome Kick It Forward tent. We'll be providing shade. You can check us out on social media at Kick It Forward on Facebook and Instagram, but then at KF. Oh, I messed that up, didn't I?
you did. Twitter is KIF_soccer. We still got that one guy that will not release KIF soccer to us. We're working on it. He has a high bounty that we're still trying to negotiate. But
Raise some money.
look us up. We'll be there next week at County. Come say hello. Anything else, guys?
Well, let's do it. Let's go.
See you next week.